Good morning, everybody. How are you doing? Good morning, Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, and the world. Sorry about that. That's who I'm saying good morning to. My name is Elliot Pierre. This is the Mac City Morning Show, and we're going to start it off the same way I start every show off by saying thank you to everybody at home watching. It does truly warm my heart for everybody who's tuning in because you could be doing a million other things, and the fact that you're spending it with me and my guests and Tanner means the world to me. So, on that note, Tanner, hit him with the intro.
How's she cotton, me loves? You're listening to the Mac City Morning Show.
All right. Now we have my favorite type of guest here today, hands down. I don't know this person. I was only introduced to them seconds ago. So you're going to learn about this person at the same time I am, which I think is fun. And half the reason I started the Mac City Morning Show is I love the stories of strangers. So, on that note, can you please introduce yourself to myself and the people at home and tell us who you are and what you're about?
Yeah, so my name is Mikayla Bennett. I am the Childhood Injury Prevention Coordinator for Safe Community Wood Buffalo. I kind of run the Buckle Up Wood Buffalo Facebook page, the car seat aspect of it. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
That's my job.
There you go. Now, we're going to start this off because you said this when you came in. You are born and raised in Fort McMurray.
I was born here. Um, I'm fine with aging myself. I'm also maybe younger than some of the other people here. So I'm 27, and that's as long as I've been here. I plan to raise my children here, so
Wow, I
I
love
quite
how you're
enjoy
throwing
it.
shade on the old people that are here, myself included. That's awesome.
Not me.
Yeah, Tanner's young. Tanner's 21. So you're not the youngest, but I'm definitely the oldest. That's so funny. Okay, so your last name is Bennett.
Yep.
Do you have family that's here as well? I went to high school with, or not high school, like my whole childhood, with a gentleman named Justin Bennett. Any relation?
That's my married name. So
Oh,
my maiden name is Michaela LaBelle. I was kind of an only child until my siblings are much younger than me, and so really, I mean, I didn't grow up really knowing any more of us. I didn't have a lot of cousins here.
okay.
Just
Just your friends.
yeah.
That's what Fort Mac's about. Everybody just like makes friends with the people around them, and that becomes your family.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Now you, because I'm looking at your shirt, you work for Safe Communities Wood Buffalo.
Yep.
Can you tell us what Safe Communities Wood Buffalo is all about?
So we're a nonprofit, and we really the goal is injury prevention. So everything we do circles around injury prevention. So we go all the way from like children, and I mean babies, starting with car seats and their parents, through children and youth and driving and road safety and everything that
In between.
surrounds that.
Okay, cool. And what is your component of the company again? Sorry.
I'm the childhood injury prevention coordinator, so things really kid related. So Halloween safety, I do those presentations.
Okay.
Car seat safety is like a big part of my job. Buckle Up with Buffalo is kind of our offset of that. And
Right.
then bike safety, huge in the springtime, crosswalk safety, all that kind of stuff with the little
Okay.
kids.
Let's talk about Halloween then. We're nowhere near Halloween, but when I was a little kid, the only thing you had to worry about was if it was not wrapped. Don't eat it. Now there was always the rumor that potentially there was razor blades in candy. I think that's still going on. Don't know where that started from, but in regards to safety for Halloween, what does that mean nowadays?
So the main thing we focus on with Halloween safety, we kind of take it from our crosswalk safety. So we do pedestrian safety. So it's all about crossing the street properly, looking both ways. Um, in Halloween, it's dark when we're trick or treating, so making sure you're visible to the cars, staying with a group. The candy is a small portion, so make sure your parents check it over. But
Right.
mainly the pedestrian aspect of it, the fact that you're out at night on sidewalks, there's
Okay.
cars.
All right. So
Yeah.
now you're talking to these kids in the school, right?
Yep.
I've got a question for you. Do you think that kids are still going trick or treating in mass numbers, or is that like kind of dying down?
I feel like maybe this year it was probably a bit different
Right.
with like everything. But aside from that, even when I'm out trick or treating with my own kids, I feel like I see a lot more groups of kids than just singular like siblings
Okay. That's
coming up. So it seems to be still a thing. I know people who go with like their whole neighborhoods or
right.
other families. So
Yeah, I don't get as much kids anymore. That's why I'm asking. And maybe I'm in the wrong part of town, but yeah, I found the numbers outside of this year. I've lived in my home for 8 years now up in Timberlea, and this year was the biggest year we had for people coming over for trick or treating, which I thought was quite interesting based on the year that we are coming out of.
Yeah, we got about the same as always, and we don't get as much as across the street because we don't have the sidewalk and we're like in a cul-de-sac.
Right.
So they don't really tend to come in. But when we were out trick-or-treating with my kids, I
Yeah,
was surprised at how many people I seen out because I was a little worried that people weren't going or that you hear some things because of COVID. So,
that's right.
but yeah, there was a lot of people out this year.
Okay. Now, in regards to the job that you have with Safe Communities, how did you get connected with them?
So I became connected with Safe Community because of Buckle Up with Buffalo. So I became trained as a car seat tech almost 4 years ago now,
Wow.
and met Leslie through that, my coworker, who then we just started working together on car seat stuff. We did car seat clinics, information sessions, all that kind of stuff, and then there was a job position opening, and then it just kind of
Organically
rolled
happened.
from there. And now I do car seats and other stuff.
Okay, so when it comes to car seats, let's talk about car seats a little bit here. Is it true that car seats, like once there's an impact, you have to like replace the car seat? Like there's certain reasons why car seats are no longer valid, or maybe like they've been. If I've got a kid and 4 years later I have another kid, I'm not supposed to put that kid in the same car seat. Is that factual?
So part of your most car seats are one-time use. So if there was an impact, even if it's just small, most car seat manufacturers say it needs to be replaced. There are a couple that maybe follow some criteria. So depending on how big the impact was, your vehicle drivable afterwards, all that,
Right.
was the car seat occupied at the time, that kind of stuff. But for the most part, it is a one-time use, and then for the second part of your question, passing it down through children is totally normal. All car seats do expire though,
Oh,
so if there's just like a 4 year difference and you're using the same like infant carrier, then it's probably going to work because most of those are 6, 7 years expiry, and then you get up to the bigger ones and they can be 10 years depending on the materials that
okay.
it's made out of.
Now I've got a question for you because the like I have a little guy. He's 6 and he's in a car seat, and then I know as he gets older it'll turn into a booster and whatnot. What are the height and weight requirements when like they don't have to be in these seats anymore?
Yeah, so as far as like going from the harness to a booster,
Mm-hmm.
it all depends on the car seat.
Okay.
So the height and weight requirements is all different. So every booster seat has different minimums and maximums, and the same goes for every car seat, no matter the stage.
Mm.
What we look for when getting out of a car seat to a booster seat is a lot of like mental maturity. They need to know to sit properly. When they're in the harness, they're tight, like we make them tight. They're strapped in there.
Right.
And when they move to the booster seat with that seatbelt, they have so much freedom to move.
That's right.
So mental maturity plus meeting the minimums for the booster seat they're going to go into. For the
Right.
most part, that's normally 4 years of age and 40 pounds. Some booster seats are higher than that. Some require them to be a little older. And then getting out of the booster seat, again, they need to be fitting the seatbelt without the booster seat properly.
Okay.
So sometimes this is meaning that kids are using booster seats up until like 10,
Right. Depending on their
and
height.
that would be
Yeah.
completely normal. Seatbelts aren't built to fit people until they're 4'9". So for some kids that's 10, maybe a little sooner, maybe a little later. Sometimes one vehicle they fit it, sometimes another vehicle they still need the booster. So it's all so subjective and a lot to do with every particular child and every different seat.
So 4'9" is kind of like the height requirement, though. Like you said, give or take.
Yeah, I mean, seatbelts are made to fit people 4'9". Now everyone's built differently, so if I have a
Correct.
taller torso, I might be fitting differently. But yeah,
That's
that's
kind of rough. Okay. The reason I ask is I have a vintage sports car that's just a two-seater, so I can't even put him in the back seat because it doesn't exist. So I'm like, okay, when can this kind of when can I get him in this thing? Is what I was trying to get at. But you've answered that question beautifully for me. So thank you very much. So when you go to school for that kind of stuff, or you get trained, sorry, what's the training like? Is that something you go away for, or do they fly somebody in? What does that look like?
So when I got trained, someone was flown in to be our technician instructor. Now my coworker Leslie is an instructor with CIPSAC, so that's Child Passenger Safety Association of Canada.
Hmm.
So she's an instructor now, and she's held a few classes since becoming instructors, training some RCMP bylaw and just normal people, whether it involves their job, people who work at different organizations throughout town or just want to be a tech for the volunteer aspect or their own children.
Okay, very cool. Now, as we brought up at the top of the show, you're born and raised here. What high school did you go to?
Mark.
Father Merck, there we go. Yes, finally. I went to Merck as well. Tanner, take some of that. He went to comp. We haven't had a lot of Merck people on the show. We've only had one other from you. So thank you for going to Merck, the proper school.
I think that's weird to me because I mean, I do know a lot of people from high school that still live here or I'm still friends with, and they're all from Merck. Yeah. So
I'm just inviting the wrong people on the show is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I'd say the right people. A lot of people are from comps.
Oh yeah, that is true. What did Merck represent when you went there? Like, all the schools are known for something. Obviously, as you pointed out at the beginning of the episode, I'm very old, so I know what Merck meant for me when I went there. What did Merck represent for you when you were going there?
So I think it's pretty much the same now. I was before Trinity was a thing, but it was still very focused on I know there was the RAP program. I didn't do it, but my husband did. So the RAP program, so like industry, technology, that kind of stuff. And then, I mean, Santa's Anonymous is a big one. I still like to be involved in that every year. So I think maybe those are two big things. I know now it's a lot more split. When I went there was no junior high there as well. So
right. That's why you look familiar. I knew you looked familiar. Okay, so we've bumped into each other through Santa's Anonymous more than once. I'm like, I know I don't know you, but I'm like, you look so familiar. Okay, we've definitely seen each other at Santa's Anonymous then. There we go. Very cool. I love Santa's Anonymous. Big shout out to Santa's Anonymous. I know it's months and months away, but yeah, I can't wait till Santa's Anonymous comes out so I can help promote them and help them get all the toys and the food and everything for the kids again. So it was weird this year because of COVID. Like, I couldn't really get involved with Santa's Anonymous. It was the first time since I was in high school that I had no involvement with that non-for-profit. So that was weird.
Yeah, it was weird for me too. I'm normally there all the time, so it was.
Christmas was weird this year, not because of COVID, because there was no Santa's Anonymous for me. So, anyways, on that note, we're at the part of the show. This is Tanner's part of the show, the Mac City Minute. He's going to ask you some questions. I don't know what they are, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck. All right, Tanner, hit her with your questions.
Question number 1. Growing up here, what does the community mean to you?
That's a great question. And actually, it's been asked to me before. So Fort McMurray as a whole means a lot to me. I actually, we definitely chose to buy our house here, to raise our children here because of the experience I had. I love that small town feel, but with some more of the amenities. It's also got a lot of activities for kids now. I mean, when I grew up, there maybe wasn't as many, but the community means a lot to me, and that small town feel and everyone like stepping up to help everyone is really that's what my favorite part is.
Question number 2. What is your favorite comfort food?
Comfort food. So my favorite comfort food is probably chips. I think chips, or if we're going like supper foods, maybe like mac and cheese, pasta, a big one.
Okay. Question number 3. What is one thing you've learned from your job that surprises you?
I don't know that anything surprises me about my job anymore. Maybe one thing, I've learned a crazy amount of facts. It's a good thing that my brain works well to store all these weird road safety facts, car seat facts, all the different things. I don't know if there's one that really stands out to me, per se. They all kind of shock you at first when you learn all the safety things.
Okay. Question number 4. What is a hobby people might not know you have?
There might be a few hobbies. I love to snowboard. I don't get to do it as much anymore because I had an injury on my knee. I crochet. I love to do kind of stuff with design on my computer and all that kind of stuff. So there's a few different things that people might not expect.
And your last question. What is one thing you did in Fort McMurray as a kid that kids today can still do?
Probably hang out at Vista all day, and that would be probably a big one. And I know the chalet limits are different now, but when we're out there, we still see kids hanging out there all the time.
Those have been your 5 questions.
There we go. Vista Ridge, it's come up a few times. Best poutine in town, in my opinion.
Yeah, we always said that too.
Yeah, game over.
Yeah,
So
hands down.
I like you. You came from Merck. You like the Vista Ridge poutines. Okay, we're gonna build on some of Tanner's questions. I never know what they are, so they like spark my brain. You like chips?
Yes.
What kind of chips? Flavor? And do you have a brand that you go to as well?
Well, because of what I can't not eat, I guess Lay's is probably my favorite brand, and currently their new jalapeno cheddar has to be my favorite.
There we go. I'm going with Miss Vicky's salt and vinegar chips.
Yes.
They're so good.
Miss Vicky's used to be a favorite of mine too.
Yeah, so those are good ones. Now, Tanner has a question that I love to steal. I love to steal his questions. He asked a guest a few days ago, what is a restaurant that you used to like to go to that no longer exists? It's a stumper.
It is, because
you're so young, they all still exist.
I do know. Well, I know one of my favorites, and I know it still exists, but I don't go there. We live on the opposite end of town. Is McRae's in Gregoire. It was really big when I was a kid, and if I remember correctly, there was even a train that used to, I don't know if it's still up, but it's not running, but it used to go around the ceiling.
That's right.
So that would have to be my favorite. It definitely still exists, but I haven't been there since
you moved to the other side. Yeah, it's funny when you live on the other side of the bridge what you go to. I grew up in Dickensfield, and so there's all these thickwood places I went to, but I lived in Beacon Hill for a bit. And yeah, that bridge, people like to cross the bridge.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's not like I remember when I moved there, I was one of of my buddies to buy a house here in Fort Mac. So I had the house, and it was a banger of a house, but my buddies would never come visit. I'm like, guys, I'll pay for the cabs. I'll get a van. I'll pick you all up. Like, nah, we're not crossing that bridge. We're bougie like that. So, anyways, that's the end of our show. 20 minutes.
Awesome.
Flew. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
I love how you just showed up today with your coworker, and then you're like, yeah, I'll sit in the seat with you. So, thank you. I appreciate it. And feel free to come back at any point in time to promote anything that you guys are doing with Safe Communities with Buffalo.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for having us.
Again. Cool. Now, almost kicked you out before you got to do your shameless plug. Can you do a shameless plug about the organization that you work with and how people can get involved?
Yeah, so definitely visit us. We have a website, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Currently ventured into the TikTok world, so we're getting there too. You can definitely visit us on our website. It's being revamped, but check us out on Facebook. It probably has maybe the most up to date. We're always on social media, especially lately. So yeah, get in touch with us, visit our Facebook pages, even buckle up with Buffalo if you need some car seat help, and yeah.
There we go. Awesome. Sweet. Well, on that note, Fort McMurray with Buffalo in the world, that is the end of another episode of the Mac City Morning Show. I'm Elliot Pierre, your host, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for tuning in. It does mean the world to me. Hope you're having a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
I said this. That's another Mac City Morning Show done.
It's so ballistic!
Talk about quenching your ugly thirst.